Hello, everyone. I am Mrs. Heald, and I am the College and Career Advisor at BCC High School. And today I'm going to talk about the college application process. So the first thing I would like all of you to do is to take out your phones and take a picture of this QR code. This is going to be your to-do list for all things college application. This will be posted on your counselor's door, my door, and the counseling office, and you'll have a saved copy on your phone. I will make updates to this as they become available, but I actually have already created the class of 24 to-do list. So if you want to just kind of look to see what's coming, you can do so. So today we're going to talk about making your college list, researching colleges on your list, sorting your list, how to create a common app account, create an application timeline, writing an essay or a personal statement, how to send your test scores if you're submitting them, how to ask for a letter of recommendation, request transcripts, complete your financial aid or FAFSA, and apply for scholarships. Not everybody is ready or wants to go to college, which is perfectly fine, but my job is to help you figure out what it is that you do want to do, okay? For purposes of this presentation, we will be focusing on the college application, but I just want to, talk briefly about the fact that you don't all have to go to college. You can go to a 4-year institution, you can go to a 2-year community college, such as Montgomery College, and they have partnerships with more than 40 other colleges and 4-year universities. And when you complete your associates at MC, it is a very easy transition to a 4-year university. You can take a gap year. You can do an apprenticeship, go to a vocational or a trade school where you can learn to be an electrician, a plumber, an auto mechanic. You can get a job. You can enlist in the military, or you can join the military and do the ROTC scholarship, and you can get a 4-year university degree in any one of the military branches, and they may pay for your college, which is, a wonderful way to do it. So your to-do list, what you should be doing right now. When you apply to college in the fall of your senior year, your transcript is going to be sent to the school. And that is only going to include any classes that you have taken, could be 8th grade, but any high school classes you have taken through the end of your 11th grade year. So it's really important especially during your junior year, to just focus on school, keep your grades strong, show growth. If you had a bad grade in 8th or 9th grade, show that now you've succeeded, you've been successful in math, and your grade has gone from, let's say, a C to a B or an A. Talk with your counselors about the year ahead and confirm that your courses will put you on the right track for college. Take the in-school SAT on March 22nd. You will all be registered for free. And the best place to study is on Khan Academy. If you haven't participated in many activities outside of class, get involved. It doesn't have to be in school. If there's something that you're interested in outside of school, that can go on your application. Get to know your core subject teachers, English, science, math, and social studies, because they will be writing your letter of recommendation. Start thinking about what you want to write your personal statement about, and we'll talk about that a little bit more later. And if you happen to be traveling over spring break or over the summer or anytime, take notes, go visit schools in the area and take notes about what you like or dislike. Do you like that it's in a city? Do you like that it's remote? Do you like the food? Do you like, that everybody is smiling when you walk by them? But just take notes to keep track of what it is you're looking for in a school. After junior year, once you've finished this year and you're starting to think about your senior year, we're going to be offering a whole lot of summer workshops about writing the college essay, how to apply for financial aid, how to find the right schools for you, etc. There are quite a few of them. These will all be recorded because I plan to do them virtually again this year, so that if you do have a job or you're traveling, you can watch these videos later. You'll work on tweaking your college list and researching and visiting the colleges. You're going to make your list of colleges, including at least one safety school. You'll create a common app account. You'll create an application timeline, including application deadlines. And you can meet with me or College Tracks or your counselor to talk about your college selection. This is very important. If you have taken ESOL in any grade 9 through 12, you will need to take either a TOEFL or Duolingo English proficiency test and submit the results with your application. These results will be due at the same time as your application. University of Maryland is very strict about this, just as an example. Finding the right fit for college. There are a lot of things that you need to consider. Do you want to go to a 2-year school or a 4-year school? Excuse me. How big is school? Not just in terms of how many buildings there are, but the number of students there. Do you want a public university versus a private university? How far do you want to be from home? Do you want to be able to take your laundry home on the weekends? Do you want to be able to, just stop in for a visit for dinner? Or do you want to have to take a plane ride to get home because you can't wait to get as far away as possible? Cost. College is very, very expensive. So you're going to have these conversations up front with your parents about how much you all can afford. Majors, do they have what you want to study? What type of learning environment? Is it, all lectures? Is it hands-on? That becomes very important as well. What kind of diversity in campus life do they have? If you have a 504 plan or an IEP, or you are requiring disability services, you're in a wheelchair, you need to find out what kind of services they have available to you. What sorts of activities do they have outside of the classroom or sports? And what is their retention rate? How many kids come back after the first year, which shows whether they're happy at the school? What is their graduation rate or outcome rates? What percentage of students get jobs, within 6 months of graduating? So how do I know which colleges go on my list? So there's some search engines. I listed 3 of them here. I'm not going to, these are videos on how to use the first 2. And then this one is just another site. These are sites where you go in and you make selections. I want a big campus. I want sports. I want, business degree. I want to be 200 miles from home. It's going to ask you a whole lot of questions. And once you get the list at the end, after you've answered all of these questions, you will start to do research on that school. You'll go visit them. You'll go to their website. You might do a virtual visit, etc. How do I learn even more? Talk to your counselor, talk to me, talk to College Tracks, go to Big Future, Niche, College Confidential, or other college reference sites to include the college's own website. This recording and these slides will be shared. So the links that are in here, you'll have access to after this presentation. Go to prospective student events if it's feasible, if you can get there. And in the fall of your senior year, there will be over 200 admissions reps coming to BCC to make presentations in the Career Center, which is located in counseling. You'll register for these events through Naviance, and you have to get permission from your teacher to attend. But this is a great way to have a one-on-one conversation with the reps and attend virtual or in-person tours. And you can find out about those on your college's websites. You'll find out about the college rep visits in your Naviance page. If you have any trouble with Naviance and you can't get in, just email me and I'll reset your account. I actually have 2 that are in here for spring. You'll see those right now. You're just going to click on it's on your homepage under what's new. You'll click on more info, and then there'll be a little button where you can register for the visit. These are very important things to remember when you're looking for the right fit. You want to be the average kid at the school. You don't want to be ahead or behind other kids. You want to run, swim, whatever, at the same pace as these other kids, okay? You want to look for hands-on learning. Are you able to get involved in your learning? Do research, meet with professors, walk down the halls and see if professors are in their rooms during their office hours. Are there places you can go to get to know your teachers and students? What's the student union like? What are the media centers or libraries like? Are teachers interacting with staff and other students, etc. And a really big one is, what is the return on investment? Don't wait until you get accepted to talk about the cost of attendance. If it's going to cost $200,000 or $300,000 to go to a university, a private university, find out what the success rate is of those students. Where do they get jobs? What's the starting salary? How long is it going to take you? If you have to take loans out, how long will it take you to pay back these loans? And as I said, visit college campuses if possible, or attend line virtual visits, or the NACAC College Fair, which will be the Montgomery County College Fair in April. BCC will be taking a field trip to the event on April 19th. We want you to visit when you go to the field trip or when you're out visiting campuses. Visit a variety of campus types and sizes. Visit when college is in session, if possible. You get at least 5 excused absences for college visits. Talk to the students and the faculty. Do the students look happy and engaged? And as I mentioned, are professors in their offices during scheduled office hours? And keep a record, take notes of what you like and don't like, and keep in touch with those admissions reps. They're going to give you their email address when they come to the school to visit, and it is okay to email them. You're going to sort your list. Once you have your list, you're going to sort it. And this is really, really important. There should be no college on your list that you would not go to if it was the only school you got into. Okay, I realize you may change your mind, but in general, I have so many kids that apply to a whole bunch of schools, some of which they just apply to see if they get in, but they really have no interest. It is a lot of time and money, at least $50 an application. Okay, you add all that up, it adds up. It could be going towards your tuition. So don't apply if you wouldn't go there. And then once you have your list of colleges you think you would be happy going to, put it into 3 different categories. We're sort of getting away from these categories because we don't really have a lot of safety schools anymore. But in general, you should have at least 1 or 2 safety schools that you think you have a really good chance of getting into. So about a 75% acceptance rate. And then target schools are schools that you feel you have a good chance, but it's sort of iffy. I think Maryland has really become a target school for kids, definitely not a safety. The average weighted GPA for the University of Maryland for students that applied from BCC was about a 4.6 weighted GPA. And then reaches. These are colleges that you do have a shot at it, but it's going to be really tough. And this would be an Ivy League for any student, no matter how strong a student you are. Stanford, University of Chicago, Northwestern, those are all reaches. The Common App is a platform where you can apply to over 900 colleges and universities. So you don't have to go to every college's website and apply individually. You fill out one big application, you add all the schools that you're applying to, and then you go into the links for each of these schools and you do the additional requirements that they have. So you would write one essay or personal statement that goes to all the schools, and then there may be some supplemental essays that you'll have to write. It opens August 1st every year. You can create an account now, but you can't go in and add any schools. It flips on August 1st. Okay, so it'll start for your year on August 1st. But like I said, you can create an account now if you want to. It really depends on each school's requirements, how long it will take you to complete the Common App. And you can add schools. You might start with 5 and then add some more, etc. And it requires a maximum 650-word personal statement that will be sent to all the schools. And then students, this is very important. If you qualify for free and reduced lunch, you can get a fee waiver through Common App for free applications. So even if you have not applied for free and reduced lunch, but you have in the past, or you think you might qualify, you should absolutely apply, even if you never eat lunch at BCC, because it will get you a lot of free stuff. It can get you free SATs and ACTs as well. The different types of application plans. The non-binding ones, meaning that if you get accepted and you get in, you don't have to go there. You'll have till May 1st to make a decision. Early action or priority. That's Maryland, University of Maryland, and there are other schools. This just means that you can apply early and get a decision in advance of the institution's regular decision. Regular decision, you're not quite ready for early action, you're still deciding what you want to write about, etc. Submit an application by a certain date and receive a decision a little bit later than you would if you applied early action. One thing to note, over 90% of the students that University of Maryland accepts come from their early action. They rarely accept kids from regular admission. That's just one school though. A lot of other schools have no data like that. And then rolling admissions like Penn State, et cetera, are schools that sort of, they don't have specific deadlines. You can sort of apply whenever you are ready to do so. Restrictive application plans, early decision. This is a binding contract. Students commit to a first choice institution where, if admitted, they definitely will enroll. The application deadline and decision deadline occur early. The counselor and the parent must sign off on this, and students must withdraw their other applications if they're accepted. Do not apply early decision if this is not a school that you are absolutely positive that you want to go to and that you can pay for. Yes, it can help your chances of getting in if it's but only do it if you're absolutely positive that this is where you want to go. And then restrictive early action, it's not a binding contract, but it does restrict other applications. So if you apply, for example, Georgetown University has a restrictive early action. And if you apply to that, you can't apply ED or restrictive early action to other institutions. But if they do accept you, you have until May to confirm. You can still look at your other choices. Once you have your colleges you're applying to list, you can find the deadline and the method of application in Naviance. Here's an example here. Write a personal statement for the college. You want to open strong. You want to use a hook and paint a picture to understand who you are and what you bring to this campus. You don't have to share every detail of a challenging experience, but don't feel you don't have to have a happy ending either. They want to learn about growth. How did you react or respond to the subject of your essay? Please write like you speak. Use words that are natural to you. Don't just pull out the thesaurus, and don't be super repetitive. Reveal your character and be authentic. Okay, they're not looking for, the most well-written essay that's they've ever seen. They want something that's authentic, that tells them who you are, adding humor. Imagine how the person reading your essay will feel and think outside the box. Mechanics matter, but this is something you can save for the end and proofread. Have someone who doesn't know you read it and see if they can get an insight as to who you are just by reading your essay, and attend the summer college essay writing workshop. I have them, and the English teachers have summer school workshops. I am going to, the bell is going to ring soon. I'm going to plow through, but I am going to show you this real quick because I do think that this is helpful.
Some of the worst essay topics are also some of the most memorable. Don't forget the bad ones. I would say the worst essays I read were the ones that made students seem unlikable or condescending. People that you wouldn't want to say have a cup of coffee with. Those are bad topics. I read an essay once that was all about seeing a poor person for the first time outside somebody's gated vacation home. That was not a good topic. Sometimes, a well-written essay is just a bad personal statement. So really moving essay about your grandfather's experiences in World War II, bad personal statement for you. Would be a good personal statement for your grandfather, but he's not applying to college. So I would say, making sure that the essay shows your strengths, shows you as a likable person that admissions officers will want to have on their campus. Be wary of polarizing topics. If you know that your stance on some political issue is polarizing, it's a very risky choice for an application personal statement. You have to think about who the reader is. Most admission readers are pretty liberal and pretty open-minded. So if you write an essay about being closed-minded or not wanting to be around a diverse group of people, that's a bad essay topic. I have read essays like that. So, don't try to outsmart the process. Really just show them who you are in a positive way. Talk to your strengths and talk about yourself.
Sorry about that. Okay, so as I mentioned, SAT school day for all juniors is March 22nd. Many schools are still test optional, but since this is free and it's during school, I recommend that you all take advantage of this. The way to send your test scores, you have to do it directly, either from College Board or actstudent.org. It's sort of tricky because you don't know what your score is when you sign up, and that's the only time it's free. So if you wait until you get your score back, it's $12 for each school you send it to. If you want to know whether or not you should send your test score, you can come and talk to me or your counselor. The data is sort of skewed right now because with test optional policies, the only students that are sending their scores are the ones that do really well. And so obviously the mid-range is a lot higher. So I recommend just getting an opinion, unless it's really obvious that your score should be sent or not sent. But please, talk it over with somebody. Requesting recommendations for teacher letters of recommendations, you should allow about 30 days. And what I recommend is that at the end of your junior year, you talk to some English, science, math, or social studies teachers, get 2 letters, ask them if they would be willing to write the letter. If they say yes, and they may say no, because a lot of kids will be asking them, you will follow up with an email saying, thank you very much for agreeing to write this. And then over the summer or during the fall, you will go into Naviance and you will make the request in there as shown. Okay, again, I will review this with you if you stop by, but you click on colleges, you go to letters of recommendation, and then you'll select the teacher you want to get the letter from. Transcripts, again, about 30 days for the first request. That's just the trigger for, I'm ready to apply for college. I need to request my transcript. There's a form that you will, the form that this is linked to right now is for this year's form. It'll be changed for you guys over the next couple of months, but you will click on this form. You're going to put in the schools that you're applying to. That goes directly to Mrs. Bonner, our registrar. And once she gets that, she's going to alert your counselor that it's time for them to write your letter, that you're ready to go and you need your counselor letter of recommendation. You do not have to make the request of your counselor to write the letter. They automatically do that, but this is the trigger to get them started. The way that what your counselor uses to write your letter of recommendation is your self-reflection survey. Your counselor may know you very well, but there may be some things that they don't know about you that would really help your application. So when you go into Naviance and you bring up your BCC self-reflection survey, you're going to be asked a whole lot of questions about yourself. Don't put anything in here that you don't want shared with a college admissions officer, but put things in here, brag about yourself, things you've done outside of school, things that helped you change and grow, and any leadership opportunities. Put all of that in here. I'll wait for the bell. And what is in a complete application? Obviously, your application form, the fees, like I said, $50 plus. Sometimes there are, like Tulane University does not have a fee. It's free. So they get a lot of applications. If you qualify for a free and reduced lunch, you'll qualify for an application fee waiver, as I mentioned. Your high school transcript, that'll be sent by Mrs. Bonner, and then you'll have a mid-year transcript sent, and then a final one at the end of the year. Your test scores, if you want to send them. Letters of recommendation, your personal essay and your supplemental essay. If you're applying for music or art or musical theater, dance, any of those things, an audition or a portfolio may also need to be included. And possibly interviews. My recommendation is anything that is optional, you should do. There's a reason that it's on the application. So if an interview is optional, I still suggest that you sign up for it. I'm more than happy to interview you, to give you some ideas and help you prepare. But I do suggest that anything that is optional, you should do. Pay attention to college deadlines. I have a link here for this document. It shows you the regular decision, early decision. There's something called ED2, so that let's say you apply early decision to a school, you get your decision in November. You still have, and it's a denial, you may still have time to apply ED2 to another school. The FAFSA opens October 1st. It's required to be done by March 1st. This is money that you apply for from the federal and state governments, okay? Even if your parents say, we will never get money from the FAFSA, you should still apply, because if you apply for scholarships, a lot of that money has to be run through FAFSA, okay? So we encourage every student, the state of Maryland says every student should apply for FAFSA, just so that they can get that scholarship money if they are awarded it. If you go to the BCC High School website, go to College and Career Center on the top, and on the left-hand side, you're going to see a link to a whole lot of scholarships. You can make a lot of money if you apply to these. How are applications reviewed? Holistic review. Every American college will mention this, okay? It's a highly individualized process by which balanced consideration is given to the multiple ways in which applicants may prepare for and demonstrate suitability as students at a particular institution. How have you challenged yourself inside and outside of the classroom? What challenges have you faced and how did you overcome them? What type of student or member of the community will you be at our school? And what are we lacking in the student body that we need? That's very important. You may have a 4.85 GPA, but let's say that year they're looking for more students that are involved with global awareness and sustainability, et cetera. So, that might be what they're going for that year. And you just might not have that, even though you're a brilliant student. I actually am going to, for time, I'm not going to share this video right now, but again, I am going to be sharing all of these slides with you because I do think that this is very important.
What do you mean by that, and what does that mean for them in putting together their submission?
So just because a school has a 25% acceptance rate doesn't mean you as a single student have a 1 in 4 chance of getting in. If you are what they really want, you might have a 90% chance of getting in. But if you're like every other student, you probably have a 0% chance of getting in. Every school has priorities. They want more full pay students. They want more students from South Dakota. They may want more students who are first generation students, or they may need, in some cases, a third baseman for the baseball team. So they have all these priorities in admission that they have to fulfill. If you fulfill one of those, you have a much better shot of getting in.
Well, does that mean if, you get a certain score that maybe falls in that low range at one of these colleges, that you should still apply to that school, or should you just not send in those test scores at all? I know we have this test optional thing.
Yeah, you should not send in those scores at all. If you're in the lower tier of scores, the lower 25%, and you know that because they usually advertise what their average scores are, then don't send them in. Now, if you're at a school where a lot of students are sending scores, they're going to assume that your score was low. But if you have any shot of getting in, you do not want to submit a low score.
Okay, so that slide came on anyway. I mean, that video. And that is helpful advice. Montgomery College, this is always a great place to start. It's very affordable. It's a simple online application. You can apply anytime after October 1st. It's free to all MCPS students. They have honors programs. They have Macklin business programs. If you don't have an ACT or SAT score, you may have to take the AccuPlacer assessment. just to evaluate where you are and whether or not you'll have to take a course to catch up and be ready for college. But that's something, again, that we can talk about later, but I just bring this up because Montgomery College is an awesome resource and a great place to start if you're not quite sure what you want to do right out of high school. And here are some important reminders. You need to schedule a senior meeting with your counselor, complete your BCC student reflection survey, pay attention to deadlines. This is really important. Check your school email on a regular basis, okay? And your personal email, because you're going to use your personal email on your Common App, okay? It's very important. Don't wait to get your SSL hours. Make sure you don't have any obligations with the school. Send your scores to directly from College Board or ACT if you plan to do that. Only apply to schools that you want to go to. Don't apply ED unless you're 110% sure that that is where you want to go. Use your legal name on everything. And again, your personal email on your Common App, and check your status on portals of the schools you are applying to. Here are some great resources for you: College Tracks, me, your college, your counselor, my website, and the counseling website. Again, I know that this is a lot of information. I just wanted to review it all with you. You're welcome. Please, I encourage you to stop by, introduce yourself to me, and review this with your parents. Go over it yourself. And thank you so much.